Hello everybody, welcome back to Gyanan, and today we're here with a video on some tips and tricks for AS and A-level. So let's get started. So the key discussions for this video would be on how to make notes, solving past papers, making an analysis notebook, some recommended videos, and some very important resources. Now this video is basically based on science and maths topics because these were like my main subjects, but you can also use these tips for other theoretical subjects and stuff. So let's get started. First thing is how to make notes. So when you're making notes, it's very important to refer to this document. It's called the syllabus document, and you'll find this on the official Cambridge website. So when you search for 9702, this is an example for physics. You can use them for IGCSEs, like you can advise your juniors to use them. So when you go to the site, you'll find this syllabus overview in this column. When you open this, let's open the recent document. So you must have seen this document, but maybe you have not paid enough importance to it. But trust me, it's a very important, very useful document. You can just read through the syllabus overview, details of the assessment, subject content, practical assessment, additional information, etc. Let's skip to the subject content. So here is the AS level subject content. So you can see the topic is given, the subtopic is given, and all the things that you're supposed to do within that subtopic is also given. So there's nothing more, there's nothing less, exactly what you're supposed to study, to the point, things are given here. For example, here, all the graphs that you're supposed to do: velocity time graph, displacement time graph, gradient from a velocity time graph. And best part is you get definitions. You get direct definitions like force, rate of change of momentum. And definitions come, and you get all the keywords right here in this document. You get all the formulae that you're supposed to use in the calculation. So referring to this document will make your notes like A-grade notes. So I'll show you my A-level physics notes and comparing them to the syllabus document. Here, like topic 12, motion in a circle. I've written the heading, the subheading, and then further elaborated it according to the 3 points that I've given. The formulae, everything is there. Like for example, this gravitational force, gravitational field, I got the definition from here: force per unit mass. That's what you're expected to write. So these these notes, I provided the link to these notes in the description box below. You can use it. You can refer to them, but make sure you write your own notes. Like this technique is very useful for theoretical subjects. Like I even use this technique for my IGCSEs. Like biology is a very theoretical subject. So I'll show you the syllabus overview for it. Like this document helped me a lot. So let's skip to the subject content. Here, you'll find direct definitions here: movement, an action by an organism or part of an organism causing a change of position or place. You get definitions right here with the appropriate keywords like characteristic of living organisms. I'll show you more. Like here, specialized cells, specific functions. So you'll get all the specialized cells that are there in your syllabus and their specific functions right there. I'll show you some direct questions that come. For example, this one: describe the digestion of starch in the digestive system. So this is a direct question, and probably it's a 2-marker. You get the 2 points right here. This is another question. So you get direct questions. It's a very much plus point of making notes from syllabus. Here, like sites like Save My Exams could also help you make notes. Then there is PMT, Physics Math Tutor. So these sites have really good notes. Of course, there is Z Notes. It has very crisp notes and to the point notes. Very useful. So my notes are basically a compilation of all these sites. Like I referred to these sites as well when I was making notes. Like here, these are my chemistry notes. All the notes, like links for the notes are provided in the description box. You can refer to them, but be sure that you make these notes yourself and you make them as neat as possible, as attractive as possible. Be like a lot creative, because you'll be the one who will be referring to these notes afterwards. So at least make them referable, like you want to come and study, look at these notes and study. Like these, I've highlighted these equations, these are important ones. I'll provide a separate PDF for all the equations. Like for here, organic reactions, written the conditions, reaction for generation of electrophile. So everything is here, topic wise. And syllabus document helped me a lot to make these notes. Like these are based on the syllabus document. And make sure you make them handwritten, because that will give you practice. And for practice, of course, there's solving past papers. Of course, it's an obvious tip to solve the past papers, but I'll also refer to the specimen papers. So you should also solve these specimen papers. These are very important, as you'll get an idea of what exactly is going to come into your paper, like the main paper. How much marks is the topic worth of? Then you can also solve topical past papers that are there in sites like Save My Exams and PMT. Then of course there are past papers. You can find them on a lot of websites. So we'll just take a sample of physics paper 9702, a 4-2 paper. Also refer to this. Refer to all the formulas that are given. Refer to the data. Because if given, use it. Like for example this, define gravitational field. So you write the answer and then you check it with the marking scale. If you get it wrong, you copy it into a separate space. Like here, this question, suppose you get 1 mark or you get it wrong. So you copy it down to a separate notebook. You can do the same for numerical questions. And past papers are like the best thing to get practice. Get as much practice as you can, solve as many past papers. Now when you copy these wrong questions into a separate notebook, that's what you call the analysis notebook. Like here I've made one for physics. This is also provided, like the link for it is provided in the description box. Like I've copied down all the definitions that were there, not just the ones that I got wrong. And make sure that you do it topic wise. Here I've just randomly put all the definitions together, but if you do it topic wise, it's more organized and it's better for referring back. Then I moved down to the question answers, like whatever questions. I didn't write the whole question there. I just wrote whatever the keywords that are enough for me to understand the question, and then I wrote the points that I missed. Also, you can write all the points that are there for the question. So the main thing of making the analysis notebook is to get the keywords, because keywords are very important. If you miss the keywords, you get a straight 0. Like here, less bright, grade average lambda. You can use all the short forms you want, because this is for you. You will be referring to it. Like here, the keyword is change in flux. EMF is smaller, induced current. So the whole point of making the analysis notebook is to get the keywords. That's it. While you and you get a lot of practice. When you write the thing twice, your hand even starts to remember it. So this analysis notebook would help you a lot. Rather than picking that pile of past papers, you can just pick this up and just read through it a night before, a day before exam. That's all you have to do. Like I've done the same thing for chemistry. I started with the definitions and then the question answers. Now for numericals, like you get a lot of numericals in physics, even chemistry. So for the numericals, all I've done is I copied down the required data that was to be copied, like here, mass, all the stuff, and then I've written the question and the formula that is required to solve that question and how to go about that question. So a night before, I'm just reading this, so I'll get an idea if the similar type of question comes. All I have to do is use this formula, and that's how I'm supposed to calculate my answer. You can do it topic wise. It's a very easy way. Like it's good for revision purposes. You can do these numerical based for pure math, for mechanics. I'll show you my mechanics. Like for mechanics, I divided them into 6 parts, types of question. So here, vertically upwards, this was like main type of question that comes every year. So if this type of question comes, that's how I'm supposed to go through. These are the equations I'm supposed to use. Another was of resistive forces. So like that you can go through. Then there is recommended videos. All you have to do is go to YouTube, search 9701 A-level chemistry tips and tricks, and you get a ton of videos. For example, this video, I really loved it because here it like showed all the topics and all the number of questions that came, number of marks it was, like from 16 I guess to 20. And it also showed the important topics under each chapter that you're supposed to study. So this is called smart work. Like even this video here, it had all the formulae. So when you're watching these videos, like I watched them a night before and regretted a lot because these videos had so many wonderful tips that I could have used, but I couldn't. So watch these videos before making notes. These will provide you a lot of useful tips. Like maybe you won't understand a lot, but you can also watch it afterwards. Then you will surely understand a lot, but you should also watch it before and then make your notes. These will provide you a lot of resources. Like for example, this video, it had all the graphs of physics, like from gravitational, SHM, thermal, everything. Now some important resources. Of course, you're supposed to refer to the examiner's guide. And of course, there's this really nice document, Students Learner Guide. You can find this online. You can find all the examiner's report online, everything. Like here, useful websites. You'll find a lot of good resources there, section 6. And we'll just go to this section where you can find all the papers that had sample responses by candidates. So here you can see the critical comments. So when you read this, you get a brief idea of what you're expected to write, so you don't make the same mistake again. Then a few more websites, like this blog, I found it very useful. It had like last minute tips, but you should read it before studying or making your notes too, because it had tips for making notes. Then of course it had last minute tips for paper 2, paper 4, everything, like for your practical paper also. The link to these websites are also there in the description box. You can refer to them. Like it had every detail. Non-numerical answers can be made clearer by adding a sketch. So that's a very important thing. Do not prematurely round up figures in the intermediate. This was for chemistry, I guess. This was in examiners who wrote the tips and tricks. So there was a general advice for all the papers. Like as minute as, if part A has 1 mark, then a single statement might be sufficient, but if part B doesn't. So you can read through these documents. It will help you a lot. Like these are like last minute tips, so you should read through these. And this blog, this had like notes of all the subjects too, full notes for Cambridge International. The link is also there in the description box, so you can refer to this. It had studying tips. Like this blog was very useful. I found it really interesting. Then in this learner's guide, there's this really important checklist that is there. It's very useful. Like here, general advice, start early. So when you're taking these ticks like check boxes, then you have to assume that your preparation is going just fine. Advice for all papers, demonstrating your knowledge, understanding, learn the standard circuit symbols, definitions. Like here, advice for paper 2. Subparts, total 60 marks, 75 minutes, so almost a mark a minute. Key terms. So you have to put a tick on all these things and then you're prepared. So hope this document helps you a lot, and hope these tips would be of great help. And all the best for your exams. Thank you.